So everyone's wondering, why am I wearing a costume? Why am I wearing this? And what am I handing out? By the way, what we're handing out, you cannot keep. I need these back. Okay? Maybe you don't know, maybe some do know, I am Jewish. And what I'm going to teach about today is something that is a very dear thing about Jewish and about a festival. It's not Hanukkah. It's not Hanukkah. Alright, stop swinging. I have to give you instructions. Whenever you hear the name Haman, only when you hear the word Haman. If you don't hear the word Haman, I don't want to hear it. Thank you. Thank you. Only when you hear the word Haman. Excellent. Alright. Just do it for a couple seconds and you look. Yes. What? I went to the synagogue today. I was at the synagogue. The synagogue is where Jews worship. In Champaign.
I hear an awful lot of those things going around and he hasn't used the word.
Only when you hear the word Haman. Okay. Alright, I'm going to try to go fast. I knew the leaders wouldn't like this, but it's not important. Esther, she lived in Persia. Please don't switch him. Only when we say that name. Understand? Esther lived in Persia, but Esther was not Persian. She was Jewish. She was Jewish. Her ancestors came to Persia as prisoners of war. In Esther's day, many Jews lived in Persia because that's where they were taken. Oh, I must have missed this slide. Yeah. There was once a beautiful girl named Esther, and her father and mother died. Esther's cousin Mordecai brought her up. Esther honored her cousin by obeying him as a good daughter. We have that. Now, just how big is Persia? This is a map of Persia. It's huge. It's like almost the entire world at the time. It was huge, massive. And the king of Persia held a huge banquet for the princes from all over the world. The men ate apart from the women, who were also banqueting with Queen Vashti. The drunken king, he had a lot to drink, ordered Queen Vashti to wear the royal crown and show her beauty. Queen Vashti refused. He was like, hey, you want to see how hot my queen is? Come on, trot on out. Look how hot she is. She's my queen. And the queen, she was like, I'm not doing it. And to show the ladies should honor their husbands, the king passed the law which took the crown from Vashti. She was no longer queen. A search was made for a new queen out of all the beautiful girls in the kingdom of Persia. The king chose Esther as his wife. He set the royal crown upon her head. Esther did not tell the king she was Jewish because her cousin Mordecai told her not to. I believe Dylan read that. Esther 2:10. So just how powerful was the king, and in turn Esther? As I showed you that map of Persia, it was huge. He was the most powerful king. He conquered Babylon and moved his capital to Shushan, where he ruled over almost the entire world, 127 countries in all, from India to the East Ethiopia in the west. It was the largest, by far the largest kingdom in the world. Sadly, the Jews wondered if they would ever return to Jerusalem and their homes in the Holy Land of Jerusalem. Everyone with me so far? Cousin Mordecai spent his time at the entrance of the palace to hear news of Esther. One day, he overheard two palace servants planning to murder the king. Mordecai sent a message to Esther, and the servants were hanged, and Mordecai's name was written in the king's record book. But the king forgets to reward Mordecai at first. Second in command, the king, a rich man called Haman. Everyone bowed when Haman passed by. Everyone except Mordecai. As a Jew, Mordecai worshiped only the living God. Haman hated Mordecai so much he decided to kill him and all the Jews in Persia. How dreadful the wicked Haman strict the king into signing a law that at a certain time every Jew in the kingdom would be killed. Every Jew. Every Jew. What was Jesus? Thank you. You can stop right there. As mentioned, Haman hated Mordecai so much he decided to kill him and all the Jews in Persia. To determine when to kill them, he cast lots, which is pure, to choose the day. And there was his answer, the month of Adar. Esther 3:7, I believe. Brianna said that. Yes. No, thank you. I know. Then Haman went to the king. Your Highness, he said, there is one nation, he said, scattered throughout your kingdom, which is different from all the other nations. They don't eat our food, they don't drink our wine, or marry our daughters. They don't keep the king's laws, and they don't work. Every 7th day they rest, and they're always celebrating these holidays. If you give me permission, I will destroy them for you. I will even pay for any expenses from my own money. The king gave Haman his royal ring to seal the orders and decrees. Haman sent out letters sealed with the king's royal ring to each of the 127 regions in the kingdom. And so it was decreed that in Adar of the coming year, on the 13th day of the month, all the Jews were to be killed in every province and every nation of the land. There would be no place to run and no place to hide. All the Jews would be killed. Everyone with me so far? Okay. This is where our great Queen Esther comes in the picture. What was Esther? She was a queen, right? Okay. When Mordecai heard of the decree, he sent Esther a message. He let her know that she was the only one who could go to see the king. And Esther was like, well, how can I go? She replied, Haman has worked against me. No one can go see the king without being called by him. Because the king, he was so powerful, you could only be called in his presence if you were invited. If you go when you're uninvited, instant death. Queen Esther was saying, it's been 30 days now that I have not been called. Not even once. The king didn't even want to see Esther for the last 30 days. Still, you must go, Mordecai said. Who knows? If you have not been put in this place for this very purpose, if you are silent now, help will come to the Jews from some other place, but you will perish. All right, Esther. All right, said Esther. If I die, so be it. But first, I will prepare. I will fast for 3 days. Let the Jewish people know, and also fast and pray with you. It was a terrible law. Both Jews and Persians mourned. But remember, God had made Esther queen, and she was a Jew. Would she keep her secret from the king? Or would she risk death to try to save her people? What do you think? You think she risked death? Then at last, Esther went uninvited to the king. She walked in. Before she entered the throne, Esther was filled with fear. There was the king, all power in the world in his hands. From the bottom of her heart, she prayed to God for herself, for her people, and for the temple to be rebuilt. She knew that any second she might be killed, since she was approaching the king, unannounced, which should be